Last Chance Kitchen. Oh my God, look at their faces. They're just so pissed Bev is back in the competition. Oh my gosh, she's smashing, going crazy. Then Bev has to ski. She's never even skied before, but you think she cares? She don't give a now look, Sarah fell down. Ooh, did Bev trip her? Now Bev is shooting a gun? Holy shit. She cannot be defeated. Look how she just stabs that fish. Ew, that's so nasty. But then Padma says, oh, sorry, Bev. Go home again. But Bev still doesn't care. She will just keep cooking. Well, obviously she cares a little bit. She's crying. She only human.
That's funny.
This is Bev, and she is one badass chef tested. She don't give a Look at Lindsay just bully.
And how that works on Bravo. Lisa, first of all, what is transmedia on Bravo? What does that mean?
Transmedia, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's storytelling across multiple platforms or using different media forms. And basically, the way Bravo came to transmedia was, I think, out of like many ideas, it sort of came out of desperation. And, you know, basically I was from the digital side, and I would talk to Tom and Andy on the production side and say, like, you know, all we're getting are, like, the bonus extras, like the leftovers, and that's really meaningless. And we really need to make content that's meaningful and has an impact. And they kind of go, yeah, but, you know, really the best stuff has to go on the show. So, so I kept on, we have these sort of long-term strategic planning meetings, and I just kept on saying it has to be, the content has to be integrated. I didn't know what transmedia was. And then that night I went back and there was an article about Tim Crane in Fast Company, which defined what transmedia was. I was like, that, you know, that's what I'm talking about. So that's how we sort of brought it full circle, and then it was a long road to get there, but that was 2 years ago.
So Dave, we only judge on the current, or the food that's in front of us in that episode. And so a chef could have a bad day. Who's a good chef and get eliminated. I think of Trey in his season. I think of Jen Carroll in All Stars. You know, several chefs that I think got had a bad day. Naisha in his current season, who just had a bad day, but that's how we judge. And so it gave that chef an opportunity to get back into the competition. You know, I thought it just was a great way to address that issue. And it's one of the things that you know, during the course of the season that a lot of the viewers, a lot of the emails that I get, tweets that I get, are usually asking that question. And so it was a way to answer that question.
Right. I just want to say Rebecca Keene tweeted and wanted to know, where is the word of the night, the drinking word? So, I mean, if anyone has a cocktail, I'm just going to call it and say, let's just make it chef. And so if anybody up there says, chef, take a little swig of whatever you're sipping on. And on that note, let's take a look at what Last Chance Kitchen is. We have a little sizzle for you guys. So let's take a look at it.
It was like, hey, we're just supposed to be away for 6 weeks.
Right.
So that was pretty easy. And this year in Texas, we were moving around, so it was actually a lot easier than if we were one city, because we kept everyone in San Antonio, and then everyone went to Austin and to Dallas.
So when the chefs found out that they were competing, that the game was not over, and guess what? You have a chance to get back in it.
Well, they didn't know though until they actually got to the kitchen.
They walked into the kitchen.
They just got a note from me saying, you know, I want to see you in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That was it. And so they showed up thinking that I was going to say goodbye to them or something, and then all of a sudden they walked to the kitchen and they saw a chef standing there.
Because you love to have a big ego.
I love, of
the
course,
chefs
I know.
after
It's a top chef tradition. The job takes every eliminated contestant out to lunch.
No, this, right. You had a bad back. You weren't mixing the pain meds with the, yes.
It all depends. Sometimes they're very drunk and sometimes not. I think it's apparent when they're drunk. You know, there's I guess a good 2, sometimes 3 hours between when they competition sort of ends, when they're done cooking, and when we actually set up to judge. And so they have a lot of downtime.
Right.
And I think we had a beer sponsor this year. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Tequila too.
Did we?
Yes.
Okay, well there you go. But some of them actually, some of them don't drink at all. So it all depends. You know, loosens it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like if they're drinking Quick Fire Cabernet.
Yes, Quick Fire Cabernet, delicious. Okay, so Amy, we gotta talk about Bev, because this was a huge thing. So for all of you who don't know, we have this side competition going on, Last Chance Kitchen, and Bev gets kicked off of Top Chef. She gets eliminated. Very controversial chef, who a lot of the girls have been picking on for the whole season. She gets eliminated. She goes into Last Chance Kitchen, and she won how many weeks in a row, Tom?
She won 2.
She won the last 2.
Naisha won 4 in a row.
Naisha won 4.
It looked like she was unstoppable, and then Bev came in.
And then Bev came in and won the whole damn thing. And what happened on Twitter? What was the response when this happened?
So one of the things is the Last Chance Kitchen episode was released just after the premiere episode on air. So fans that just saw Bev eliminated go and competes against Naisha. Huge upset. Bev beats Naisha. And the fans just went wild. We kind of looked at it, it was our Kanye West moment where immediately you started to see the fans react, and it started to go out across all the social networks that there was this huge upset. And a lot of fans were really passionate about Naisha in the competition, were really rooting for her because she'd won for so many weeks, and there was that, oh my God moment where Bev won.
Yeah.
And then, I think there was this undercurrent that started to happen where fans were really rooting for Bev because they saw her get treated so, not harshly sometimes, but she struggled a lot in the competition, and here she was coming from behind.
A lot of people were upset with me.
Yes.
I got more hate mails more than that.
They were upset with you that
Because
she
Naisha-
won Last Chance
a lot,
Kitchen?
no, a lot of people really were pulling for Naisha.
Yes.
And so when
Yeah.
she was eliminated, I got an earful.
It
Well,
was-
you get an earful after
Doesn't
every
matter.
freaking
It
elimination.
doesn't
I mean,
matter.
it's
Well,
like,
I say if we have 16 contestants, 18 contestants, whatever it is, we get it wrong 17 times.
Right,
So,
right.
it just happens.
okay, so on the topic of Bev, we at Watch What Happens Live, we have hired Randall, the honey badger guy. He's our special correspondent. So basically, there's a honey badger in every Bravo show, basically, or more. So he's been kind of honey badgerizing some Bravo shows for Watch What Happens Live. And so this was his take on Bev, okay? So let's take a look at that. We'll see if we can rack it.
This is Bev, and she is one badass chef testing. She don't give a Look at Lindsay just bullying her. Bev don't care. Look, Sarah swoops in to bully her too. So what? Bev just keeps cooking. Then Padma says, oh, sorry, Bev, go home. But Bev don't care. Bev wins Last Chance Kitchen. Oh my God, look at their faces. They're just so pissed Bev is back in the competition. Oh my gosh, she's smashing, going crazy. Then Bev has to ski. She's never even skied before, but you think she cares? She don't give a Look, Sarah fell down. Ooh, did Bev trip her? Now Bev is shooting God. Holy shit. She cannot be defeated. Look how she just stabs that fish. Ew, that's so nasty. And Padma says, oh, sorry, Bev. Go home again. But Bev still doesn't care. She will just keep cooking. Well, obviously she cares a little bit. She's crying. She only human.
I've been there, you've been there for every elimination. You obviously have. How much?
This is actually
Thank you.
answer this question, so you guys can. This is great.
We really don't.
We know. By the way, try going up to Tom and Padma at 4 in the morning and saying, oh no, we didn't taste the food, but we want you to eliminate so-and-so. And then see how that goes.
Yeah, but you know what? Look at it this way too. During when we're taping, we're not allowed to interact with the chefs at all. We are only interacting with them when they're on camera. So either when they're cooking, judges table, that's it. So we don't know, the Mean Girls thing happening behind the scenes. We have no idea that's happening. Absolutely no idea. Nor do we care that it's happening. And so we're solely judging on the food that night, the food that's in front of us. That's it. So, and also, if you look at it, we have 6 cameras rolling 16 hours a day. We have no idea what the story's going to be. There's so many different things that are happening.
Right.
And so really to try to actually pre-editing this thing, to sit there and say this person should go, this person should go. We have no idea who the personalities and what personalities are going to emerge. So it really doesn't make sense at all.
Okay, at Royal Fatal has the greatest idea. Can we bring back Dina to the Housewives of Jersey in Last Chance Housewife? Meet me in the lobby. We're gonna figure this out. It's a really good idea. I love it.
All the ex-housewives in one transmedia show.
Right?
And then one of them gets back in the show.
How many housewives are there?
A lot.
And which show would they get back into?
The one that they were on.
Okay. So Lisa, the whole thing was sponsored by Toyota. Why only one sponsor?
Well, it had to only be one sponsor, and Toyota has been a sponsor every single season of Top Chef, because you need to make all the elements drive to it. So the way we normally do sponsorships, because again, we're desperate, we just like try to take money from whoever will take it, and then they have their own agenda. But I need to drive all the agenda towards making Last Chance Kitchen a success. So all the elements drove, and we never had a sponsor who was that invested before, and it made all the difference because we were able to really drive around Last Chance Kitchen. If they had just been the web series, we wouldn't have had, I don't think, the success, because the loyalty, the fan favorite was all around driving people to watch more video and drive all the other elements.
One thing that I love about Top Chef is that the quality of the show is so great, and you know, it's the only show to win the Emmy for Best Competitive Reality Show versus Amazing Race has won like 85 times, and then Top Chef won once, which is incredible. And the quality of Last Chance Kitchen was great. Dave, talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, we put a few bucks into it, for sure. If we do it again, we probably don't do that. But yeah, no, it's we shot it. What we wanted to do. Well, maybe. Yeah, you can get more. But we wanted to just have this real feel of that everyone's left the kitchen. It's nighttime. It was more dimly lit, and these people sort of come back in and get to prove themselves one last time. And we wanted to make it look very beautiful and keep the production quality like the show. I'm not sure if it was one extra layer. I'm not sure that we need that completely for it to be successful. I think all the stuff that Amy and Lisa did in terms of the engagement helped it, and then the stakes once people got involved with really being invested in the contestants and Tom being the judge are the things that really drive it. So that sheen was a bonus.
Yeah, I think the neat thing about it was because it was the first time we did, there was no sort of tried and true way of doing it, and everybody was very open to change. In fact, I remember when we brought the contestants in as the audience, which was kind of really worked because then they got all the other the contestants that were eliminated involved and they were cheering, and then at some point I just decided to throw a question out to them to see what they thought, and it all just worked. And the great thing was everybody was really open to it, again because it was new, and it was also it takes a lot of time and work to shoot one of our episodes, but this was about a half an hour. So it was great.
Right.
It was half an hour. There was no deliberation. It was just like, all right, this is what I think.
You just tried the dishes.
That's what Tom would like to do.
Potato pig. That's a technical term.
Yeah.
That's time. Potato Pig 911 wants to know if you read up on the Top Chef blogs. Do you read the Gawker live blogs, which say that Padma is really high all the time? Do you read the blogs? Do you read the blogs?
I do not read Gawker. I read the Bravo blogs, and she's not high all the time. She's been nursing the last 2 years, so she's not smoking these days. I'm not that she ever was before, but it just goes to show you that Gawker's not always right.
You mean she's very attractive?
Smoking hot, yes.
Right. She's still smoking hot. So Amy, what did you learn along the way through this whole experience? What surprised you about what went down?
I think one was sort of the traction, honestly, of Last Chance Kitchen. Lisa talked about sort of what the expectations were going in, and to just see that really take off throughout the course of the season, see fans start to find it not just on the website, but then go to the mobile sites, find it on VOD, and those numbers just grew by double digits throughout the course of the season. So that was really exciting to see. The second part was really the power of social, and that when the chef testants, or the chefs, anybody still drinking? Were rallying for themselves, like Chris, who won fan favorite, he really used social to his advantage, where he had, he didn't last as long in the competition. He had 3,000 followers, but he tweeted to them very actively, and he's the one who ended up with the most points and votes for fan favorite. And I think think that, the other big thing was, it's hard when there's a lot of different things we had going on, but keep it simple. Like, make sure that you're really clear with the consumers, like, what's interesting about this, what's exciting about this, how do I get it? And not overcomplicated.
Well, we play a little game on Watch What Happens Live called Plead the Fifth. And I thought maybe we should play it with Colicchio all the time. Here we go. Tom Colicchio, I have 3 questions in my hand. You may plead the fifth to only one. Tom, who is the most irritating person on Twitter?
Most irritating person on Twitter?
Yes. Who have you had to unfollow because they were so freaking
I had
crapping up your timeline?
Well, I actually unfollowed someone yesterday because I made a comment about Rush Limbaugh.
Yes.
Recently, and it was, just your basic, maybe we should boycott him.
Yeah.
And maybe this is probably the only city in this state that where this will work. And this woman just got so nasty, and so I actually tried to engage her for about 3 or 4 tweets, and then I had to stop and just blocked her. I don't even know what her name was. I completely forgot.
So she's the most irritating person on Twitter?
Yes,
I thought you were going to say, like... Yeah, right.
No, not at all. No. Actually, I like engaging. I like actually having a conversation. You can try to sort of find common ground.
All right.
That works. I actually tried that.
Okay, well, we're playing a game, so we have to keep the question. All right. Music's gone, everything's off the rails. Okay, question 2. We're still playing. When was the last time...
Who do you find the most irritating, Andy?
Let me think about it. I will answer that question. When was the last time you watched porn on the internet?
I'll tell you when the last time I watched porn was. It wasn't on the internet. The first season...
Okay.
The first season of Top Chef. They put us in this hotel. We had no budget then. Not that we have much of a budget now. We had absolutely no budget. And they put us in this place called the Diva Hotel
In San Francisco.
And I swear to God, I walked in, and this place was bad. It was really bad. I walked in, I unpacked, I turned on the TV, and there was porn on the TV.
All right.
I turned it off, I didn't watch it. I'm not.
Okay. 30.
When was the last time you watched porn?
This morning? I'm watching it right now on my iPad. Just trying to power through, Tom. Okay, last question. The boat is sinking. You only have one life vest. Paula Deen, Martha Stewart.
Who cares? I only have one?
Yeah.
They're both drowning. I'm keeping it.
Recollection that we actually wound up changing hotels of the talent in San Francisco.
I actually booked myself into the hotel.
Okay, and Katie Lee Joel switched to the Four
Katie Lee
Seasons.
Joel was great. I asked her, the first time I met her, I said, Katie, what do you think of the hotel? She said, my husband's coming here next week. I don't think we'll stay here.
Right. Yes. Anyway.
And then we switched.
Okay, so what do we think about the chances for Last Chance Kitchen next season?
I think we'll have to wait and see. You wouldn't be surprised if we told you.
Right. What's the next big transmedia play for
Well, now that we've had success, of course, now I'm getting more ambitious, and we'd probably love to constantly climb another mountain and try a new thing. And our users are fantastic. Our fans seem to sort of embrace whatever the latest thing, whatever we try. So
Often they get sort of thrown by the challenge. Sometimes they get all wrapped up in what the actual challenge is, and sometimes it hamstrings them. But here there was really no much of a challenge. It was just a very small little thing, and they had to cook. You notice that I think the best food that we had all season, besides the finale, was the episode that we had Charlize on, and that was more of an idea of a challenge. That wasn't so much. There wasn't a physical part of it, and so I think the chefs do better when they get to interpret a sort of an idea as opposed to a physical challenge.
Amy Tennyson. Oh, sorry.
So I think the food was also fast, so they didn't have a lot of time to do long braises and things like that, and they didn't have time to overthink it. So it was kind of immediate. For the most part, it was very good.
Amy Tennyson wants to know if Bravo stars are trained on how to blog and tweet.
Well, I would say not so much anymore because most of the people who come know how to do it. But I have to say, in the beginning, 2 or 3 years ago, when we first, we were the first network brand to combine Facebook and Twitter in a social feed in what is now commonly known as social TV. And so we just threw it out there. It was like transmedia. It was sort of a hallway conversation where Amy and I were talking with the head of marketing, Ellen, and sort of like, what if we put it on air and you did a second screen? And so we did it for the first time with Real Housewives of New York, and they weren't that familiar with Twitter. So we did have to sort of train them. Our one social media person trained them. And then what I found was, to get them to get active was the next year. So what we decided to do is we put them all at the bottom with their number of followers. And things improved quite rapidly.
Is that true? Is that?
Yes.
That's so interesting. I didn't realize that was. Wow. Okay, Lisa Shaw, our.
Conversations on the phone. So.
I know. It's funny. I have a book coming out in the beginning of May, and I was going back thinking about early days of some shows, and I remembered that with the Housewives of Jersey, when we were casting that show, there were many, many conversations with the cast of that show about they had so many questions, and they were different types of questions than we had heard before, and one of them was, has anyone been wiretapped as a result of... The name of the book is called Most Talkative. Thanks, Dave. Comes out May 8th. I appreciate it. Available for pre-order on Amazon. You know what? She is our goddess of all emerging and digital media, and she is going to plead the fifth, Lisa Shaw. Lisa Shaw, I have 3 questions. You may plead the fifth to only one. Lisa, what do you think, or who is the most overrated tech company or most overrated innovation?
Oh my God, this is so awkward. And I'm not a TV star. Now this is like, oh my God, this is just, they're all our clients. Okay, I'll plead the fifth.
Very good. That is within your right. Lisa Shaw.
I do have someone in mind, but I would never say that.
Are YouTube and Netflix going to kill TV as we know it?
Absolutely not. TV's up on the upswing, and it's going to continue.
Yeah! Lisa Shaw, do the Winklevoss brothers deserve the money?
No, but I give them a lot of credit for persistence.
Give it up for Lisa Shaw. Another question, what metrics did Toyota set to deem the sponsorship successful? Was it a convo about engagement versus impressions and clicks?
Yeah, it's a combination of what they're doing, and we're actually performing our most ambitious research study ever for this and for that too. And there's a lot of analytics that simply aren't available right now. So, I think one of the things people are most interested in is what is the passage of a person from TV to online to mobile to VOD, and do people interact? And right now, you can do primary research, just interview people, but Nielsen, for instance, doesn't cover that. So we're just going to have to do a combination, and basically we're using, I think, 8 different vendors to create a sort of funnel story of what happened. But I think analytics, particularly in the social media area, have a long way to go, and I can't wait for us to get there.
It sounds like if someone actually came up with a new Nielsen system, they actually would get a lot of traction. Like the whole system.
Yes.
So someone out there...
Somebody do it.
Someone do it. Yeah.
Okay, My Melody tweeted and wants to know if I'm only choosing questions from people who have Twitter handles that sound like porn stars. No, My Melody. By the way, My Melody, that name sounds a little... Okay, let's open it up for some questions. I mean, you guys have been tweeting, but does anyone want to actually ask a question?
Confidentiality reasons, it's usually just friends and clients and some, friends of the show. So that often it's like when we do
I'm a friend of the show.
We did Restaurant Wars right here in Austin, and it's usually a bunch of the people that have already sort of worked with us on the show. People who helped us out. Maybe you can work on the show, and then you're in every year.
Lord, tweet Dave. Okay, thank you. I think we have time for one more question.
It is the best question. My name is Leslie Sarkeesian. I'm from Chicago, but I've been here in Austin for 13 years. And actually, it is a relief for me to be able to ask everybody live here, do you guys need Bravo therapy like I do because you're so addicted to it?
Yeah!
I'm telling you. I used to watch CNN. I'm not quite sure. Now I can't wait to turn on and watch by Bravo. But one comment, Bravo really has inspired me. Really, Bethany, about Bethany, she inspired me to make my own cocktail and couldn't pass up this plug. My new cocktail, Chaos on the Rocks, is being introduced here in Austin. Low calorie, low carb, chaos because it's the constant.